787 departure frequency 15 will be 1257.
25-7, thanks.
That's cool because you're almost like doubling up, doubling up as you're being a parent to your child, to your daughter, and then also like a parent to your business.
Yeah.
And a lot of those probably parallel each other. A lot of the lessons learned, the challenges that are presented, they definitely have to feed back on one another.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can apply like what you learn from parenting, you can apply to everything else.
Right. Right.
It's all the stress and gray hairs that it provides. I mean, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time I saw her, it was, like I said, just a switch flips, and you can prepare all you want, but that feeling you get when you finally see him for the first time, it's just like a natural, your instinctive role kicks in, and you may not know what to do consciously, but you do the right thing.
Right.
You do what you're supposed to.
Literal instincts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've heard people talk about they felt stoned, they just get like a rush of like literally feel like there it comes, like that's it.
Which like in our situation, she woke me up that day. It was like 4:30 in the morning. And she thought her water broke, and I was still kind of half asleep, I was like, oh, whatever, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. So she let an hour or two go by, and she's like, no, like she woke me up, like it's real.
Yeah.
So we called the hospital, and they're like, yeah, come in. We get there at like 6:37 in the morning, and I think we were a few days past the scheduled due date.
Okay.
So we were kind of monitoring it, If she didn't come within the next week, they're just going to take it.
Yeah.
Like, take her out.
Right.
But we're there, and the nurses, even once we got checked in, they're like, I don't think it's your water broke, but we'll go ahead and do the test. Like 20 minutes later, the nurse comes running in, hooking up all the IVs and everything. We're like, what's going on? She's like, yeah, you're pregnant, she's coming. Yeah. And
you're delivering.
So we sat there. We were there for 19 hours.
Oh.
Before she finally came. They got to a point where it just became, because after I think once your water breaks, it's like there's a 24-hour window that they have. And after so long, an infection can come. Like bacteria will start to,
colonize,
build up. Yeah. So at 11-ish o'clock at night, they decided they're going to do a C-section.
Oh, wow. And you've been there since 6?
Yeah, we're tired. She's hurting, on a bunch of pain meds.
Yeah.
She didn't get the spinal tap or whatever. Epidural, yeah. They had her on pain meds, but once they decided they were going to do the C-section, they gave her like an epidural type of thing. And they took her down to the operating room, and I had to get scrubs on and everything to go in there with her. But I had to sit outside and wait, because they got her hooked up and got the operating room set up,
for a C-section.
Yeah. Yeah. And they had to make sure, because at that point, the medicine they gave her was kind of like an anesthetic, kind of knocked her out. And they had to make sure everything was okay before they let me in there. And I think it might have been 5 or 10 minutes that I was sitting outside the room waiting, but it seemed like an eternity, man. And I'm just sitting there, like freaking out. Yeah. My nerves, adrenaline's going by then. And I'm walking into the room. They escort me in there. And I'm just kind of like trying not to pass out or fall over.
Yeah.
And the way they got the table set up, like she's laying on her back, and they have like a tarp type of thing, a blanket put up, like where she can't see down, because there's a huge incision in her
They've already
stomach.
started?
Yeah.
Oh.
And like, I'm just sitting there not really knowing what to do. I got my phone ready for pictures, know.
Right.
And I mean, the medical staff, they try to make you feel calm, keep everything under control. And what was crazy, I remember like as they're cutting into her, she kind of like moves, like makes a, like she felt something. And as soon as she did that, that doctor was like beeline to her, was like, did you feel that? Are you okay? So they gave her a little more medicine before they did anything else. And I'm just sitting there like shaking, holding my phone, like, oh my God, and you hear the cry, like, and I'm looking over, watching kind of, and it's gruesome, dude. Like I got a bunch of pictures. I think we were in there maybe 3 to 5 minutes.
Right.
And once I uploaded all the pictures to my computer, it's like 256 photos.
Wow.
I'm just like
just holding it down.
Yeah. And which we got a lot of cool photos. Most of them, we keep to ourselves.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty, gruesome. But it was just interesting to see.
Well, it's an experience that you both went through,
Yeah. But that, like, once it was probably 10 or 15 minutes before I could hold her. You know, they clean the baby up and weigh her and all that stuff. But it was just, it's like the best natural high, you know, that you could ever imagine. And she was probably, like, once we had the baby, I went with the nurse to go, you know, clean the baby up and wrap her up and, you know, get her ready for the new world. And it was probably, she was still probably out, Kayla was, for an hour, you know, till she finally came to. And of course, once we got in our room, they tried to give us some time to relax and enjoy the moment. But as soon as the family caught wind, everybody that was there, because they'd been waiting, some people had been there since the morning, you know. They all came running in, and I mean, it's just a good time, though, you know.
At that point, you know, the deed is done, you got through it. The traumatic event, you know.
Which we ended up staying, we had to stay there for another 3 days, I think.
Because of the C-section? Okay.
If she would have had it naturally, we could have been out of there, you know, the next morning. I'm sure. But yeah, we ended up staying there.
Because that's a serious.
It is, man. It's a big cut, and you know they seal it up. They take all the organs they have to out. Like, they don't remove them, but they just kind of pull them out aside, dude. And they're just sitting there. While they're cutting the baby out and pulling the baby out. Jesus. Yeah, man.
No wonder dudes pass out.
Oh yeah. Like, and they were there. You know, one of the guys, techs that were in there helping or whatever, is kind of like there to make sure you don't fall over.
Oh really?
You know? Yeah. But they're cool.
I shouldn't laugh because I'm gonna be just as shaky and everything.
Man, like, and when you first see him, dude, you just like tear up.
Oh yeah.
You know, flood of emotion. Oh man. But it's awesome. It's been a blast. She'll turn 2 in July.
Oh wow.
And she's a big kid. She's since every doctor visit we go to, she's 95th percentile. One time she was in the 100th percentile.
Wow. Of
her height. She was chunky, but she's starting to get, you know, she's a beanpole now.
Yeah.
But
just like a dad.
Whereas like 3T, 4T clothes.
Yeah.
She's not even 2 yet.
3. I don't even know what that means.
Like a 3-year-old.
Oh.
3T, from my understanding anyways, 3T fits like your average 3-year-old.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
3T. Okay.
Yeah.
And these are dad terms I don't understand.
Oh man. It's, at first, it's a learning process.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I can sit there and have a conversation with my fiance just about the ins and outs of children's clothing and everything. Yeah.
That's awesome.
787.
787 departure frequency 15 will be 125 minutes.
25-7, thanks.